Hey everybody, I'm Lior from Salespeak AI, and today I'm going to show you a little bit about what we did with the LLM Optimizer feature. What I'm going to show you is really cool. I think it's cool. I'm going to show you a bit around how ChatGPT works, how ChatGPT is using your website in real time. And when I say ChatGPT, of course, I mean all the LLMs. I'll start with a short demo. So this is the Salespeak AI, the LLM Optimizer dashboard, but I'll start actually from ChatGPT. So just for the demo, I'm going to use the temporary chat, which means it won't use any cachings, which will look like any other ChatGPT search. And I'm going to look something simple, like let's say Salespeak AI pricing. And we're going to see, right, so we're seeing this searching the web quickly and seeing a lot of citations and sources. And if we click here, we can actually see which sources were used, which is a lot, right? And all of this data is actually very hard to get, right? Because it's not like somebody actually click. If somebody will click, you will see the UTM source that ChatGPT sent to your way, which is cool and good to look on to see which kind of conversions we get from ChatGPT into our own website. But to be able to see which sources are being cited from your website, which web pages are actually being used in real time from your website using to shape the ChatGPT answers, right? So all of these answers, and this was a very simple one, of course, we can do also comparison against competitors. We can ask product questions. We can ask how is Salespeak AI better than other companies. So a lot of discovery questions that you can ask are actually shaped by your website. And the core of that would be to look on which pages are being used, which ones are actually giving you traffic and citations inside ChatGPT for real user questions. So in other products, you will see a lot of synthetic generated questions around the topic, around the subject that your company is in, but it's very synthetic. Like you don't really know what's the real usage. Once we install Salespeak, and those are the integrations we have today, Cloudflare, WordPress, Vercel, we're working on a few other more, so ping if you want to know if yours is coming up. We're actually installing a server-side plugin that allows us to first monitor and give analytics about which pages are being used and how does that trend over time, which things do we need to improve, which of course which of the AI models are being used. Sometimes it's by country, so you can get some better understanding. Again, it's usually the data center that the servers are sitting on. And you get a lot of insights. So we have a customer that saw, for example, their top performing pages are actually very old blog pages. So updating them, giving them much more updated knowledge, understanding where is strength, and actually write more content about what is working has been proven really strongly. Okay, so this is basically citations over time, AI searches over time, and then you get all trending URLs. And the interesting thing here is that if you actually look here, maybe not the best example, you can kind of get which one of the topics are actually more interesting. So we run on this data set, we run some AI that helps us to understand what content is working more, and you can actually ask it, right? So what type of content is working best, get some really interesting insights about what should you develop better, what insights do you have for me? So a lot of interesting nuggets coming from this data set. Okay, so again, not synthetic, real user questions, getting those. And so the next would be, okay, I know what's going on. Of course, I can create more content, more blogs, great. But the most interesting things that we can actually optimize it automatically. So we noticed that many times your web page is optimized for humans, right? It has a lot of images, it has a lot of content in areas that LLMs don't really get. So what we actually do is we deploy a twin website, a shadow website that actually can help AI agents to understand better what you're trying to say. Right? We get a lot of questions, we get a lot of cases where ChatGPT reaches the website, reads the content, but it cannot really make your story right. So I'll give a little example. So this is like a list of all the optimized pages. Let me maybe refresh it a bit because I just ran it on some new. This is of course a test environment. So let me show you an example. So this is called pre-cache. So we run an optimization that can take a couple of minutes, and we create we enrich the content of this page. So I'm just going down to explain what is this, how does that optimization looks like. In the most simple words, it creates an FAQ section with the AEO best practices, right? With the engine optimization best practices, adding JSON LD, adding the right semantic tab, but it's all related to the relevant to the context of that specific page, right? So for that specific page, in this case, about how we craft AEO and intelligent data in Salespeak, we add more Q&A in a format that is good for him, right? So what's a problem Salespeak support, and what SOC 2 does it have, and so on. And this added context really helps the LLM and cite back important links, and it helps the LLM to understand what really matters. Right, so again, it's both on the technical front, like adding semantic HTML tags, JSON LD schema, all of those things, and then adding the right content. All this right content, setting the right security measurement, maybe the right audience, for example, enterprises versus small businesses, and so on. And we know how to do all of this because we have the knowledge bank. The knowledge bank is a core paradigm here in what we do in Salespeak. So we build a knowledge bank about your company based on the website and additional content, right? So you can upload different documents, battle cards, pricing information, FAQs, and instead of writing blogs that are meant for humans, this information will actually serve the LLMs through the optimized pages that are relevant from this knowledge bank, right? So you can actually see a lot of explanations, a lot of like categorized FAQs that actually go into the right place. We're using the LLM Optimizer. Okay, so, and you can track how does that impact LLM conversions over time. And I spoke a little bit about integrations that, again, super easy to install. The Cloudflare integration, for example, is just an API token, and we create a worker that integrates and that take whatever is needed, the proxy there, a WordPress plugin, a Vercel integration, and yeah, so that's the gist of it. One really cool feature that we added is after we do the analytics and kind of understand what's really going on and can track that over time, we did the optimization. Of course, you can control by prompting more specific customization process. So that's easy to do. Now, what I wanted to show in the LLM lab is actually doing some kind of like a cursor for AEO, right? A cursor for how can we interactively change and improve how ChatGPT answers about our brand. And I'll start with something simple. So let's say I have a question about Salespeak pricing, about conversational pricing. So let's say Salespeak AI, do I need to pay for each user message in the chat? Okay, and this will actually mock whatever ChatGPT is doing. Right, so here we'll get the answer of what ChatGPT is doing, and this is cool. So he actually knew the answer. Now, he knew the answer, of course, because we optimized page, and I did this demo a few times. But many of the times, those kind of specific questions, we don't have a good answer for that, right? Or maybe we want to actually add, also for this example, also you don't get charged for spam messages. So let me just add that here. Add a section that says Salespeak knows how to not charge for spam messages. And the AI Copilot here will actually try to analyze what I just said and create an FAQ that will improve this. Of course, it's going to take a few seconds to generate this Q&A. And again, this is based on the knowledge bank. So it's not making up stuff. It's not hallucinating. It all has to do with grounding on the actual data in our knowledge bank. So we created a question, right? Am I charged for spam? And it will answer this. Once I'll do accept changes, it will actually push it into the FAQ, into the optimized page. And I can actually see, hey, does that impact the answer? And so that's pretty cool. So I can actually see how this impact, what does it need to optimize, and then how does it impact, and iteratively can see that this answer has been improved, and now I can actually ask about spam messages, what happens if bots are attacking me, and so on. So that's the cursor for AEO feature. So again, just to summarize it in a few words, starting from real analytics, from real user queries, we saw customers importing this week by week, seeing real increase. One interesting post I just saw, a customer posting, they actually boosted their almost 100% in a month, which was really cool to see. Yeah, so any questions, would be happy to talk to you more about the analytics, automatic optimization using the LLM Optimizer, and the LLM Lab, which is the cursor for AEO style. Thank you very much.